Hi and welcome to Mod of the Week. This week we are talking about the Magura clutch. Now the Magura clutch is a type of hydraulic clutch, which means that it uses hydraulic fluid in order to actuate the clutch. Now these are a bit of a luxury item and aren't found on very many bikes. Usually only very expensive ones like KTM's and BMWs come stock with hydraulic clutches. The advantage of using a hydraulic clutch over a traditional cable clutch is that it reduces the amount of effort required to actuate the clutch. This can reduce hand strain, particularly in very tight forests, or in anywhere where you might have to be using your clutch a lot. Even in heavy traffic, it can be very beneficial. The main disadvantage to having a hydraulic clutch is that you can't quite feel the clutch point as well as you would with a cable clutch. With a cable clutch, you have a cable directly attached to the clutch, whereas a hydraulic one is merely moving liquid between 2 points, which doesn't give you a very direct feel. I have noticed, with using it for a few months now, that you can still tell where the clutch point is, but it is more through your body rather than through your hand. It is technically more difficult to feather the clutch in more precise situations. This particular clutch is not designed for my bike. It is intended for a KDX 220. However, it fits just fine on my bike, and I find that Magura is actually very open-ended with the design of their clutches. You could almost certainly make a Magura fit nearly any bike. Generally, most bikes, all that will need to be changed is the slave cylinder. Additionally, there is an option to have a handlebar clamp with a mirror mount that can be exchanged. In an earlier video, where I upgraded my clutch, I measured the amount of force it takes to pull the lever back. For the standard clutch and the standard clutch plates, it requires about 4 pounds of force to pull. With the upgraded clutch, it required a little bit over 5 pounds. When I switched out to a Magura, still using this newer upgraded clutch, I found that it only required 3.5 pounds of force. So even though I had an upgraded set of clutch springs, it still requires less force than it would with the standard clutch and the standard lever. The thing you need to do is to disable the clutch cable sensor on the original OEM clutch.
I forgot that this was here.
To do this, remove the clutch lever, then take the wires which led into the clutch lever, strip them, and twist them together, so that both leads are joined. From then on, the process is pretty straightforward. Simply remove the old clutch and replace it with a new one following approximately the same path. Be sure that the clutch cable does not contact the exhaust and has no chance of contacting the exhaust at any point. Additionally, make sure that the nipple is facing upwards and the slave cylinder tracks correctly, not making any contact with any other surfaces when it is actuated.
I'm having trouble right now trying to shift this up. This is a bit in the way of my clutch cable line. And I'm actually going to try to twist it just a touch more to see if I can get this a 1/4 inch higher. And then I'm going to try to see if I can drill this and shift it slightly down.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up this exhaust.
It's really flexed on that pipe.
I'm going to bolt these down and see. Clutch is definitely one of my favorite mods. Not because it provides any new ability to the bike, but because it makes the bike feel much more comfortable, much more like it is a quality device.